When I was 8 years of age, my mother contracted polio. Our pastor came to see us. He came to see us and he said, I just wanted to come pray with you, which was polite. And then he said, the church does not want you to come back. We're afraid of the polio. And he said, we took a vote, you lost, and we don't want you to come back. And my mom said, well, I understand the fear. And she said, that's okay. She said, we won't come back. But she said, Pastor, could you do me one favor and pray that God would give me something to do for him? That preacher looked at my mom and said, Miss Gibbs, you need to understand God's through with you. My mom turned to that preacher and she said, you're wrong. She said, I'm extremely damaged goods, but God loves to use extremely damaged goods. A new preacher came to town and he dropped by our house to see us. When he came in, he said, I just want to tell you, he said, I'm called of the Lord to start a church here. He said, we're just getting going. He said, we don't have any people yet. He said, now, we don't have any kids, so we have a Sunday school, and how would you like to head that up? And she said, now your Sunday school has 2 kids. And she said, I got a boy and a girl. If there was just 2 of us, it was like there were 2,000 kids there. Pretty soon people wanted to see this lady that talked to kids that's strapped in a wheelchair. And the Sunday school started to grow a little bit. And one day my mom said, you know, we got to do something to bring more kids. Big bus company uptown. And she said, let's go up there and have them give us a bus so we can bring some kids to Sunday school. Well, boy, came the day we're to go up to the bus company. We went in and nice young receptionist sitting there, a girl, and she said, can I help you folks? And my mom said, yeah, we've come so you can give us a bus. And the girl looked a little puzzled and she said, you mean you want to buy one or you want to? She said, no, we don't have money. We need you to give it to us so we can get kids to Sunday school. And here comes the owner. The owner comes down, nice man. He says, lady, I understand you want me to give you a bus, and I'm not going to do it. My mom said, well, she said, one day when you stand before God, he's going to be awfully upset with you if you don't give me a bus. That man looked at my mom and he said, lady, he said, something's just tearing me up. He said, here's the deal. I'm going to give you 1 bus, 1 driver, 1 Sunday. My mom said, oh, thanks. But she said, can I say one more thing? I really need 2 buses and 2 drivers. He said, lady, here's the deal. I'll give you 2 buses and 2 drivers for 1 Sunday. But she said, you got to promise me you're going to be dead positive God knows about this. He only gave us 2 buses and 2 drivers for 1 Sunday because the second Sunday he gave us 3. And within less than 2 years, he was giving us 35 buses and 35 drivers every Sunday. In 5 years' time, never had less than 5,000 children in it. And it was all run by a lady who couldn't do anything for herself, who in her own words was extremely damaged goods. But she's right. God loves to use damaged goods. Bus owner wrote my mom a letter and he said, Miss Gibbs, because you cared about a bus and believed God was in control, he said, my whole family's saved. Every driver in my company is saved. Mom, look at this. She said, I didn't do it. But I serve a God who does all things well, and he is in control.